Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Vanguard Off the Record. This series, I will be talking to a bunch of people and see what their initial reactions were and what they think of Vanguard Zombies. Now, I know there's a lot of backlash between Vanguard Zombies community. That's why I want to know what everybody thinks. So, for my first episode, I have Joemet123 with me. Welcome, sir.
Hello.
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 How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just trying to get my setup back together, but other than that, good.
That's great to hear. Okay, so I have a few questions for you about Vanguard Zombies, about the initial release and what you think of the updates and what you think. So, let's start with the first one. When the first teasers and like the gameplay reveal for Vanguard Zombies came around, what was your initial reaction to it?
There was definitely excitement. The initial trailers reminded me of Black Ops 4. Like, I don't know why, I got these chaos vibes, and I was excited because of that. There was no hype for it until that point for some reason for me. And a lot of people, maybe because they really barely talked about it. And Cold War, Cold War was a good game, but it wasn't doing as hot as, as a game like BO3. Or there wasn't as much as excitement as there was for even Black Ops 4 DLC. So I was going in kind of optimistic, but whatever. And I don't know. We got the trailer. I was excited from it, but there was one off thing, and it was that the multiplayer developers were talking to us, and that was confusing because this is a Treyarch Zombies mode. So I was like, okay, and I was excited because of what they showed us and kind of like what the whole vibe was. But I was very hesitant because of the multiplayer developers. And then that'll start to echo throughout the rest of the questions. You'll notice that.
Yeah, indeed. Like when we saw the first initial CGI trailer, we saw the deep stuff come in, and that we knew that it was going to be Archive, aka the call line. What were your initial reactions hearing that it was connected?
I was down for it. If anything, like I said, I don't. Despite the stuff you may see on Twitter, I don't hate Cold War, though Cold War was a really good game, right? And I was just pretty much anticipating it to be a second year of Cold War. And to an extent, that is what it is. But it's really not, obviously. But it's, that's what I was fully expecting, like the upgradable perks and stuff. I was expecting pretty much Cold War Year 2 from the form of Vanguard. And that's why there was a little bit of excitement brewing up, not only because of the theme, but because, we already had this solid base. Let's continue into Year 2. That was getting me excited, but obviously stuff didn't pan out. That was my initial reaction, just general excitement because it was going to be a Cold War Year 2 style thing with even some under the hood things fixed up. So that's at least we thought.
Okay, then the next question. What was your reaction when you first started playing it? Like the first day? Because I know you were one of the people who actually got it, like, I think a week early, didn't you? Because you bought it from somebody.
I got it 2-3. I don't remember. I usually remember because I usually have a lot of fun on the first day. And on the first day, I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy it a decent amount. It's one of those. It's almost like a campaign, though, to me, right? A campaign is something that you'll play once and you'll be like, wow, that was fun. And then you play it again, and you'll be like, yeah, I kind of did this already, and then you play it again. Usually people don't even play it 2 or 3 times, but once you start playing it more and more, it's like, what's the point anymore? That's how it felt about Vanguard Zombies. So the actual very, very first day, it was good. I was telling people, this isn't the greatest thing ever, let's be honest, but this is good. I always wanted the torture path from World War II. I always was an advocate of putting that on disc. You can go back to any, hold on. Any stream or any video, back then, what was it, 2-3 years ago, I always said if the torture path was on disc, people wouldn't hate it as much, more people would give it credit. Now that was bearing there was a real traditional round-based map along with it. I believe people would have loved this, and I feel like it would be the same for Daron Fang. But since it's the only thing on disc and not its own unique entity per se, it's multiplayer maps, the real only returning thing is Shino Numa. For the most part, there's no wonder weapons. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yes.
A lot of that, it just drains the life out of you really quickly, and that was the unfortunate thing for me. So on the first day, I was okay with it. I was telling people it's all right, But let's see how it is in the long run. And again, I think we already know how that already turned out.
Exactly. Okay, we know in Vanguard Zombies that they changed up a bit with the systems. What do you perk and a pack-a-punch system?
Do you want to include the point system in this? Because
you could, yes.
So I didn't mind the pack-a-punch system becoming slightly more expensive, right? It was no big deal because it makes sense. The pack-a-punch in Cold War, which again I had, it was under the full impression that this was going to be Cold War Year 2. So I had no problem with them making pack-a-punch more expensive until we got in game, and the points were even worse to get than Outbreak in Cold War.
Yeah.
And compared to regular, round-based in Cold War, you get literally like a third of the points. And this is a game now where everything is more expensive. You have upgradable perks, which, to what you asked me, I kind of like. I like the idea of it. I like that it's upgradable in-game because somebody like my casual friends, for example, they don't have to grind. I love grindable rewards. I love the fact that they did what they did in Cold War, and I'd love for that to return in Vanguard in some way. But I also love the fact that somebody, like I said, one of my casual friends can jump in. They play here and there, and they can upgrade the perks and take advantage of all of their upgrades in-game. So I didn't mind that at all. I'm actually a fan of it. I'm a fan of maybe a combination of both. But again, the only problem, and same thing goes with Pack-a-Punch, I don't mind it because it worked great in Cold War. It's the point system. That's the only problem with all this. All they would have to do in order to make Vanguard Zombies more fun, okay, I take that back. One of the things they'd have to do to make Vanguard Zombies more fun from the very get-go is to just triple the points. At least double, but I would say triple the points because it just feels so tedious. You grind all the way to round 12, right? And then eventually I'd put a lot of money down. Not that I had a lot of money, but I'd put a lot of money down to bet that most players aren't even getting past round 12 or 15, like that they can't do it. And why would you go through a game and grind so much with this tedious point system? Earning salvage is extremely tedious now as well too. Why would you go through a game and play it so much, right? I'm not saying I hate it. I like it. All they have to do is like triple or double the points, and then it's a lot more leveled and it's more fun. But from a casual player's, any player's perspective right now, why would you grind and just go through this tedious grind for barely any reward every single game when you're only going to stop playing it like around round 12 for the majority of the players? So I don't mind the changes they made to the perks and the Pack-a-Punch. I actually kind of like them, and I would love for them to kind of be used in combination with some of the older stuff from Cold War. Covenants, I'm cool with, but for example, they put perk upgrades and ammo mods inside of Covenants, right? I would have preferred that to be the same way they were, and kind of combine it with the Pack-a-Punch and the perk systems already, and have that kind of work in game somehow like that. So I'm definitely a fan of it, but the points are really the biggest pullbacks and core mechanics, and salvage obviously. Just how much you earn. It's so tedious, man.
Okay, on to the next question. What do you think of the upgrades inside of Vanguard? Like, we knew we had them beforehand as field upgrades, but this time they were like artifacts. What do you think of them bringing back the whole system, Cold War, but changing it up by a lot?
By the way, I'm sorry for making my answer so long. I usually don't do that.
Oh, that's okay.
Like I said, I don't mind. Obviously, with every new game, you'd want new content, right? But for this year in specific, since Treyarch just made Zombies, I was okay with it. I have no, I figured, once again, this would just be Cold War Year 2. Unfortunately, the field upgrades aren't as good as they are in Cold War. But, I mean, what I do like about Vanguard is that something like Energy Mine, I never used that in Cold War.
Yeah.
It's actually good in Vanguard, to me at least. Okay. So, yeah, I like them. I don't mind that they're reused or whatever. I like the whole demonic vibe behind it. Once again, reminds me of Chaos, like I said at the beginning. Yeah. When they were reviewing stuff. I like the whole vibe behind it. I like the idea of it. I do wish there were upgrades and stuff like that, but yeah.
All right. Speaking of content, what do you think of the updates that Zombies has had so far?
Okay, so to be real with you, I played Vanguard Zombies maybe 2 or 3 times max to about round 3. after the game came out, after the initial wave, just because I was so dissatisfied with what we got and the bad taste that left in my mouth. This is after launch, so I played like 20 times or whatever, right? 30 times after that initial wave, only like 2 or 3 times. The Christmas update is a disgrace. Jingle Hells was terrible, and this is just, it's just, why even bother? Again, it's not me hating, it's just being real here. Come on, man. What did they do? They put like some kind of lights and spawn? Wow. Or a wreath in one of the maps, you know?
And they also changed up the zombies a bit.
Okay, I mean, like I said, I only played 2 or 3 times. That's something I didn't notice. That's cool.
Yeah, so they gave the Sturmkrieger, they gave him a Christmas hat, and the Boomschreiers are festively decorated, so they're like, when you look at them, they're like a Christmas tree, so when they blow up, it's just like a giant neon explosion.
That's how they should have been, though, too, because those things, you barely can tell that they're coming at you, they don't make much noise, and that it's perfect now. I was like, damn, they actually updated it, and then I realized it was a Christmas update. Yeah, that was awesome. I do like that. I hope they keep that permanently. But I mean, overall, I think it's a very obvious answer for the updates. I would say extremely disappointed at this point in time. But again, this isn't me blaming Treyarch necessarily. I love Treyarch. I just think it comes down to Activision at the end of the day, and them just absolutely swindling the crap out of us by saying, "Hey, here's Treyarch zombies," and then we wind up getting Treyarch multiplayer developer zombies, which is no kick in the gut to the multiplayer developers. They did do a good job with the mode. It's just you know exactly what happened there. It took me a little bit to realize what happened after launch, and they swindled the crap out of us. They said Treyarch zombies. It was the Treyarch multiplayer developers making zombies, and that's why we kind of got what we got. And it's respectable, but you know, overall, I think that's why the entire zombies community is disappointed in what we got, and it's essentially a Spec Ops. It's Spec Ops zombies, pretty much. It's the Spec Ops mode with zombies, even down to the only boss we have. That's how I feel about that.
All right.
I do think that the future updates may be brighter. I think that's important to say. I do think that we'll have some fun stuff in the future, but yeah.
Yeah, because that goes into the next one. Like, did you know that they the last update they did, they added some new covenants to the altar, including Brimstone, which does damage over time when you're standing near zombies, which actually insta-kill when you have insta-kill on. So you just stand next to them and die.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Swift Vengeance, I believe it's called, which the more you walk or run, the more damage you do. And then also they changed one of our beloved perks, Deadshot, into a Covenant. Oh
yeah, I heard about that too. See, I'm that's what you want to talk about, right? Or is there another part? Yeah, I'm down for it. Like I said, that's what I think the Covenant system should be. Stuff like that. If you're not gonna have a Gobblegum system, which I'm a huge advocate for, and you know you see all the Dr. Peck profile pictures on Twitter say that the Gobblegums are OP and broken, yet they love score streaks in Cold War. I don't mind either of them. I'm just saying, it's a double standard there.
Yeah.
But if you're not gonna have Gobblegums in the game, then I'm down for stuff like that. Like, that sounds awesome. I'm completely down for it. Again, I would love to have the Cold War perk system in which we had Deadshot in the game, and as you upgrade the perk, it did it gave you the bonus damage and locked onto the heads, and it did whatever bonus things Deadshot did. But other than those things, the extra things they added in, like the Brimstone one or whatever else you said, those sound cool. I'm down for those. If you're gonna have a Covenant system, let's do it in that way. That's awesome. I think that's the biggest addition to the Vanguard zombies right there. That's the biggest plus of the mode.
Yeah, because I've been seeing the updated Covenants right now. There's also, I forgot to say one, I think it's called Scrapper, which is basically like a way to get more salvage. And I do think that we kind of need that because you get less salvage in a way. Yeah. And just seeing those upgrades go up every single tier, it's really good to see, because it starts off, for example, Deadshot, you just aim at the head. But then suddenly it becomes more like the Black Ops 4 version of it. Increased damage to the head. Yeah.
And Cold War, yeah. Deadshot in Cold War was extremely overpowered, then they gave us the one we have here, and it's just extremely.
Yeah. going on to future updates, actually, we're probably gonna get a wonder weapon soon, as you guys maybe have heard in leaks. They might be adding the ray gun to the game itself. But we're also gonna get an Easter egg quest and something that's called the Tome of Rituals. Now, for the Tome of Rituals, we finally kind of figured out what it's gonna be. It's probably gonna be about upgrading your D. Because right now, with the latest update, you can see next to your upgrade, you can see like a little 1. It says Tier 1 ready to use. So we're thinking that the Tome of Rituals is gonna be a way to do the upgrades for. Now, my question for you, Joe, is what do you think they should do with that Tome of Rituals? Do you think they should just go the Cold War route, same upgrades, or change it up completely?
By the way, I'm excited for those other updates, although they should have been in there on launch.
Yeah.
I'm excited for those updates. They should have been there on launch. Other than that, yeah, I honestly think they should just go down the same route as Cold War, bearing that's actually what it is. I'm sure we didn't hear official word from Treyarch just yet, but it makes sense to be what you said. Mm-hmm. I'm down for it. It just, in terms of what I want, I could care less as long as it's fun. They already had something that worked and was proven to work in Cold War, so if they would just want to go down that route and take exactly what they have there, I'm down for it. I have no issues with that whatsoever. So if what I want is really just what we have in Cold War. There's no reason to try anything brand new at this point, the way the game's in, personally to me.
Yeah. And we know there, like I was saying, there's an Easter egg coming. Do you have high expectations for the Easter egg to be like the turning point of Vanguard?
So I'm going to be straight up with you, as I always will be. I am an advocate. I've been an advocate for them to completely stop development on Vanguard Zombies altogether. Mm-hmm. I think that's a little bit excessive. I really do think that that's a little excessive to say. But at this point, that may be the best bet. It is excessive. But on that note, I don't have high expectations for the Easter egg. I think that very clearly should paint the picture for you. I don't love the game. I like it. I think it's okay. A lot of the content that we're talking about right now should have been in the game on launch, like I said before. Mm-hmm. I am excited to see what it's going to be. Hopefully something good, but I just don't think that it's going to be the savior. At this point, we should at least have maybe 3 maps in the game, right? 3 different experiences at worst, of a Darn Fang type. So I am excited to see what it's going to be, but I think that it won't be the be-all, end-all. It won't be the savior of the game. Because at the end of the day, how often do you really do Easter eggs in Zombies? Listen, I do a lot of Easter eggs. I sometimes do them every single day. But really the question is, how often do you do the same Easter egg each and every single day if you're not a speedrunner or, I don't even know. Just general hardcore COD Zombies fan. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
I mean, we could ask Clarky.
I know. I'm just starting to talk like Clarky. Long responses, just stuttering. I love you, Clarky. But yeah, that's really it. How many times are people going to do the same Easter egg? I'm sure it'll do wonders for the story or whatever, but I'm excited to see what it's going to be. I'm not excited thinking that it's going to be the be-all, end-all for Vanguard Zombies. I think it's because I just woke up, and I'm just kind of like that. So I'm sorry.
That's okay. We love long answers, because then we can discuss about it. Okay.
Do you agree with that, or do you disagree? Are you excited
for
it?
No. I am looking forward to the future of this game, to see what they can do, because they know the backlash that it's gotten, and I just hope that they can do something, because we've basically been missing out as well during this time with the Krampus event almost by chance, because they put they put Krampus in multiplayer to be killed, but he would have been such a fun boss to kill in Zombies. They could have put him both in Zombies and multiplayer. It's even in Warzone. He's in Warzone, I believe.
Well, how dare you ask for that? How dare you ask for more content in Zombies? Yeah, I feel you. I agree with you.
Yeah, but they could have put it, because if you look at his design, he looks like something out of a nightmare. And
yeah, Warzone, he scared the shit out of me. I was like, what is this? On stream, they were telling me it's Krampus. Like, what the hell is Krampus? This would work great in Zombies. Is it in Zombies?
Yeah,
no.
Exactly. And I do like one thing about these zombie holiday updates is I don't see talk about this, but they actually recorded voice lines for chord effects, which are holiday based. It's like, someone's on the naughty list, stuff like that. I like that. It's like actual content that's not being discussed. It's like something small, but I like it because we didn't have that for zombies. And we had like ho ho ho, but that was it.
That's it. Really cool. I mean, at the end of the day, it also comes down to this, and this is something that Blundell literally just said in his Deviation Games video. You can throw out one of the best stories ever. This isn't word for word. You can throw out one of the best stories ever, but if the gameplay isn't there to make people want to interact and engage with that story, then it doesn't even matter. And I know it's supposed to be just be a fun kind of story, not even really too story heavy line. You know, it's just supposed to be a fun kind of holiday line. Mm-hmm. But I think that for Vanguard Zombies overall, why would people get invested if the gameplay necessarily isn't there? So I see some people talking about story, and then there's other people like myself who would definitely be interested in it, but the gameplay just isn't there to make you want to even care about the story, you know?
Yeah, I can understand. Going on to the next question. We talked about this, but what do you dislike the most in Vanguard Zombies?
I would love to say that it's the ray gun, that there's no wonder weapon, or that the experience is kind of ass. But I think, like I said, the point system is the most detrimental to everything. I feel like if the point system was a lot better, and just earning points in salvage in general was a lot better, the game would feel a lot less tedious, especially for somebody who's not that good. If you die, it's kind of, even once, it's kind of over, because then you have to rebuy your perk tiers again, which even if you just lose your tier 5s, that's, what, 25,000 points or something? I don't even remember how the first goes. It's too many points. That's the point. No pun intended. They got to fix that point system. That is by far my least favorite thing about Vanguard Zombies right now.
Okay. If you were to say that you dislike that the most, what do you like the most in Vanguard Zombies?
I would definitely say, I want to say either the covenants or the perk system. I would kind of say kind of like both equally. If they did the covenant system, kind of like I said before, how they didn't use, you know, ammo mods and perk upgrades and stuff like that. And it was just for stuff like that. For that mod you said, when you're standing next to zombies, they can just die sometimes immediately. Yeah. Like stuff like that. That makes me want to say the covenant table. But I also like the perk upgrades as well, just because it allows for everyone to enjoy the experience. I think that's a great way to kind of casualize the game, but still give people who play the game a lot a chance to get those upgrades and those, you know, those sweet rewards.
Yeah.
So both of those probably would be my answer.
Okay. If you could take any feat from an older Zombies game, what would you like to see in Vanguard Zombies?
Is regular round based a feature?
Well, technically.
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of joking about that, but I'm kind of serious. I guess we'll say that's a mode. Yeah. Maybe there's no wall guns, right, in Vanguard Zombies?
No, there's no wall guns.
Maybe wall guns. I don't really know. I mean, it kind of has everything there. It's just kind of everything that's there is kind of lackluster. I don't know. But I guess I'd say Vanguard, because that's the one thing I don't really feel like it's missing, but you know it's missing. It's awkward going around and not having wall weapons anywhere.
Right. So, yeah, I kind of see that point. I also miss. I think during like a grind, when you're doing your camos, I think it's important that you sometimes can also buy ammo from weapon and not from just like an ammo box, because it's just weird seeing no wall weapons. Stalingrad at all.
Well, yeah, and it gives you more choice instead of just having to rely on the mystery box.
Exactly, or finding loot, or starting with your weapon, because at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter. Exactly. That's the thing that it feels like. It feels like a Warzone Zombies hybrid right now, and not bad, but it's so much.
It's definitely not great either.
It's not great either. No, exactly. Okay, so wall weapons. If you could give the mode feedback, what is something that you think needs to be fixed? Next to the points.
Definitely the points. Points and salvage. But okay, other than that, I would like them to greatly buff the weapon damage because, like I said before, the game feels very tedious, not only because of the point run and stuff like that. Say they fix that, then the next issue is by like round 12 or 13, you're kind of forced to use a shotgun, right? And
yeah,
that it's like that in a lot of zombies modes, but at least in a mode like Cold War, which again is the reason why I love it, you can use almost any gun, and there's no guarantee that it's going to be as good as a shotgun or as good as a wonder weapon, but you can use any gun at the higher rounds near the health cap, and you cannot do that in Vanguard zombies. And I think that was something that Cold War did great, and I'd love to see that return. I think that would be another really good piece of fixing for them. To just, not even fixing, just adjustments, just to buff weapon damage. And hey, let me use my LMG on, let it be powerful. Make the weapons, all of them, extremely powerful. I think this is the most important point of them all, anywhere about zombies. OP equals fun. When you nerf the player, whether that's the wonder weapon, the ammo mods, whatever it may be, there's no guarantee that it's not going to not be fun, but it won't be as much fun as if it was overpowered a great majority of the time. So I would say, yeah, buff the weapons greatly.
Right. Okay, we're almost done with the questions here. I'm just gonna ask you one more thing. Go to the end one. Okay. What do you think as a future update is needed for Vanguard to succeed?
Yeah, I'm never a Debbie Downer here, but I kind of think this mode's dead. That's really my answer, to be honest with you. I think this mode's dead in the dirt already. But somehow, some way, this would never happen. Is just tons of more. You know what? Let me take that back. If they were to keep this mode, maybe add one more experience, like they're on Fang, we say with another central hub and other side maps. Mm-hmm. Let's say that they also add in another game mode, make that traditional round based. I can see this mode being more replayable because then again, people have the option to play the kind of Outbreak style, Torture Pad style experience, as well as a regular round-based experience on these mini survival maps. I think that would definitely help. I don't think there's any way to save the game, but I think that would definitely help with replayability, like tenfold.
All right. Okay, then on to the final question. It's more something like a personal question for the video as well. I just want to say, would you be down in the future when all of this is updated, when we have the Easter egg and stuff, return here with new questions and to see what has changed in the meantime and look back on that?
Absolutely. I hope that it's thrown right back in my face when I said this mode can't be saved. I hope that's thrown back in my face. I hope I'm wrong about that. Absolutely, I'm down.
Right. Well, Joe, then we're here at the end of the questions. Thank you so much for being here. Really great to hear your feedback about the mode.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I thought it was a great video. I appreciate it, man.
No problem. Yeah, thank you guys all for watching. If you liked it, hit the like button. Maybe subscribe to my channel and Joe's channel. I will link his YouTube and his Twitch down below. Elite plays only.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching, and it's William the Summer Flamer, signing off. Have a great day.